Hey everybody, thanks so much for checking out my page. I really appreciate it. I'm not going to be somebody that releases tons and tons and tons of videos, but I hope you like the videos of me drumming and of my music and of the music that I record drums to. But there's a couple of things that I did want to address and talk about. This is something that's been with me for a long time, and I've developed a lot of opinions, and I've heard a lot of opinions, and I've played a lot of different styles of music. And it's always been a question, at least for me, what is the correct way to hold the stick? So what I'm going to talk to you a little bit about today is just, some of the things that I've been through and some of the things I've encountered as a musician, professional musician. When I started playing the drums, I was about 9 years old. I took drum lessons from a pretty prominent drum teacher. And I was just really, really young and didn't grasp it very well in terms of reading music and things like that and learning rudiments. I just didn't really, it took me a while to really grasp it. I came from a musical family. My father, who was a saxophone player and pianist, was not happy that I wanted to play the drums. He wanted me to play saxophone and piano, and I did take piano lessons for a little while, and as well as saxophone lessons, and it just wasn't really what I wanted to do. So when I started studying drums, I took to wanting to play drum set. A lot of people listened to how I played, when I would play, and they thought it was pretty good, and they were impressed with the things that I was doing. And so as I kept going, playing in middle school band and such, and then finally getting to high school, I started to play in marching band. And what's funny is that our marching band actually didn't have a marching drum line. We had a pit percussion section all 4 years. So there really wasn't much drumline technique, so I really wanted to get more into marching percussion and drumline as I heard a lot about it. And the first time I saw drum and bugle corps, my life changed. It was the coolest thing I'd ever heard. I thought the sound of it was amazing. I thought the way that the drummers looked was amazing. I thought everything about it was incredible, and I said I had to do this. So immediately I went into drum corps. I found local drum corps, and the one thing I realized when I got there was that my technique was totally different than how they wanted me to play. I tried my best to kind of what the instructors told me to do, and for the most part, I kind of grasped it probably a little bit, but I think I just kept on playing and didn't really think too much about it. Fast forward a little bit to when we get into college, a lot of the things that were taught in drum corps were totally different when you're talking about concert percussion, and so there was this difference between playing concert grip and playing a marching grip when it came to holding the drumsticks. And that's when things really started to become confusing for me. And I wasn't the kind of person that, I could really change my technique back and forth. So I was being told to hold my sticks, with a very, very tight fulcrum between my thumb and my pointer finger in drum corps. The flip side, for concert, it was a very loose fulcrum. So as I fast forward to many years later, after college, my undergrad, and going into graduate school, I started taking some drum set lessons from jazz players, and the jazz musicians were telling me pretty much the same idea as concert, is that it's a very, very, very loose grip. Oh, you drop a stick by accident, okay, you can pick up another one in your bag and keep on playing. So my technique is a real hybrid between lots of different styles of drumming. I've been criticized, and I've been told that my technique is bad. I've been told my technique looks great, and at the end of the day, I started to realize, doing this for a long, long time, that some things matter and some things don't. You always have to hold your sticks, and in a position where you can play the drums easily. It really just depends on what works for you. I've always told people that there's always going to be somebody that doesn't have 5 fingers that plays the drums. So what does the person do that doesn't have 5 fingers? So the technique that works is the technique that usually works for you. And don't let anybody tell you that, a certain technique is bad or good, okay? It might not work for a certain style of music. It might not work for a certain way people want you to play. If you're talking about marching band and drum corps, that's all about getting people to play together and getting the sound to match, okay? And the way to do that, there's techniques that you use to get that sound, specific techniques in terms of really holding your stick a little bit tighter and using proper wrist turn. But when you're playing drum set and playing on your own, there really isn't a correct technique in terms of what you have to do and what you don't have to do. There might be some things that limit you, but everybody's different. If you know you want to do a certain thing and you want to play a certain way, play that way if it works for you. You're going to have people critique you, and you're going to have people tell you that, you know, this is not right. It's not about what they think. It's about what works for you. So I hope this information is helpful to you guys, helpful to people out there. You know, there's lots of videos I know about drumming, lots of videos about technique, but it's one of the things that I've dealt with, and I've realized over many years that my technique is mine, and your technique is yours. So thanks a lot for checking out the video. Talk to you guys soon.